Okay, Jeff.
It is over.
Hey everybody, what's up and welcome to a late night edition of The Insiders, and we are here tonight with one thing in mind, and that is Survivor Series. We are doing our Survivor Series predictions. Welcome everyone that has come aboard. I know that SmackDown just ended, so we wanted to start at this special time, 10-10, so easy to remember, and we wanted to start here because we figured it would give you people a little bit of time to get done with SmackDown and to come on over, and I can see some of you are in the chat, so welcome to everyone. We've got the full crew here tonight, so welcome in, of course, to my co-host Jeff. Welcome into Abby, and that is, of course, Jodie. And, of course, welcome Brandi. Brandi is here with us tonight as well, so hello, everyone, and I'm glad to have you all here tonight.
Hi.
Hello,
I'm excited.
All right. So there you go. Jeff, man, what's going on, buddy?
Nothing much, man. Just I'm exhausted today, but
Jeff's tired. That's all right. That's all right. Dude, I hear you, man. I hear you. I got off a long day of work myself, so it's a late night, and like I said, I appreciate you guys all joining us. But we are here to talk some Survivor Series predictions, and of course, you see the man up on the screen. It is all about the Undertaker and the celebration. I mean, this whole week has been a celebration for Undertaker. He's been appearing on everything. He's been all over the place. He's been on podcasts. He's been on. He's been. I think he did a hot wings tasting thing today. At some point, and I mean, so he's been making the rounds. He's going everywhere, and we will see the culmination of all of that on Sunday night. And so the send off, the tribute, whatever you want to call it, to the Undertaker. It is the 30th anniversary of the Undertaker at Survivor Series, and this show is pretty much all around him. And we will see, of course, afterwards. Jeff reminded me the other night that the second part of the Stone Cold Steve Austin interview with the Undertaker will air right after the show ends. So looking forward to that as well. And we will talk about what we think is going to happen with the Undertaker. Now, we heard several rumors of people that are going to be there. Of course, his posse should be there. And of course, we heard Kurt Angle could possibly be there. Of course, Kane, I'm sure, will be there. So this is going to be, either way you look at it, this is going to be a bittersweet moment for a lot of us, especially those who, like myself, have been watching this guy since he first debuted, when Roddy Piper said the famous words, "Look at that hammock!" So I mean, look, it's going to be a fantastic thing to see. Maybe a little bit emotional for a lot of you guys. I know that there are a lot of people who are big fans of The Undertaker, myself included. So, we have got matches beforehand that we're going to talk about as well. But first, let me just welcome some people in. Dallas Stars fan, hello to you. Brawny FN is here. Hello to you as well. Moda Alert. Moda is here. Hello, Moda. J14, hello to you. Sincere Meteor is here. Long time no see. How y'all doing? How are you? Good to see you. Sunny Wolf is here. Hello to you. DJB Tazzy, it's a party, baby. Tazzy will be joining the group on Sunday. He will be with us to do Survivor Series, to do the watch along. So welcome to Tazzy. James Chadwick is here as well. Hello, James. I know this is quite late for him over in the other part of the world. Butter Spark is here as well. Hello to you. Dave's fan is here. Hayden is here. Hello, Hayden. Big Boy Dally is here. Eric Buchanan is here. Says, I have arrived. Who else do we have? Am I missing anyone? Let me see. I think I got just about
Elijah
everybody.
Washington
Elijah,
here.
yes. Hello, Elijah. Welcome in. And Janelle Jackson. Hello to you. All right, so let's get this show on the road, shall we? And we will start on the card. So let's get into the card a little bit. And why don't we start with the champion versus champion match, Bobby Lashley versus Sami Zayn. So Intercontinental versus United States champion. Raw, of course, versus SmackDown, as all these matches will be. So let's start off with Jodie. Who do you think comes out on top? Now, we saw Sami Zayn up to no good tonight, kind of dissing his opponent a little bit. I love Sami. I think he's great. So who do you think wins? I mean, it looks like a mismatch. I mean, Bobby's just this big dude. Sammy, not so much, but Sammy's like that ultimate heel who can do the, he can kind of cheat to win if he needs to. So who do you think wins champion versus champion, Sammy versus Bobby Lashley?
Me and my husband just talked about it. And initially, my knee-jerk reaction is Bobby Lashley because he is the more athletic of the two. And he also has the Hurt Business, at his side. But my husband convinced me otherwise. He said Sammy will weasel his way into this one.
Yeah, that's of course that's going to be the way he would. If he did come out on top. So, Jeff, what do you think here, man? Who do you think wins this champion versus champion match?
That's a good question. I want Sammy to win it, but I think there's strength in numbers.
Ah, yes.
So I believe that Bobby will he will be victorious in this, not because he's the better wrestler, but because he has numbers on his side.
Yeah, that's a good point. The Hurt Business always follows where Bobby Lashley is, so I would not doubt it one bit that those guys get involved. Let's see here. Rusty says I'm picking Bobby in this match. Brandi, who do you think comes out on top?
You cannot ever underestimate Sami Zayn, so I'm going for Sammy.
Yeah. You know what? I think I'm going to agree with you guys. I think Sami Zayn is going to find out a way to win this. He seems like the ultimate underdog here against, and like Jeff said, I mean, if the Hurt Business does somehow come down, but maybe Sammy plays on that a little bit as well. Like it kind of, maybe
gets them banned from ringside.
Yeah, like outsmarts them in some way or goads them into doing something stupid where one of them comes up on the ring apron and runs into Lashley and causes him to lose. Like just something crazy like that you could kind of see. So, yes, I would agree with you guys. I am going with Sami Zayn here in this match. Hayden Garrett says I'm picking Bobby Lashley to win. Big Dan says I'd be shocked if Sammy wins, but the Hurt Business is on a roll, so I'm going with Bobby. Elijah says Sammy wins by handcuffing Bobby Lashley. Oh, okay. All right. Little out-of-the-box thinking there. James says Bobby got the Hurt Business, but what if Sammy brings in his own group? Yeah, I mean, Sammy's not a group kind of a guy, you wouldn't think, but you never know. You never know. But yeah, so there you go. So we got one for Bobby Lashley with Jeff saying that the Hurt Business is going to get involved. The rest of us are going with Sami Zayn in this match. All right, let's go to the tag team. This match should be absolutely amazing. This is the New Day. The New Day against the Street Profits. We want the smoke. Yes, so we've got the smoke against the New Day. Of course, the Street Profits versus the New Day. This should be a really good match. Should have a lot of action in this one. And all right, who are we going with? Let's start off this time with Jeff. Jeff, what do you think here? Who wins the battle of man? One team has just been extremely dominant over the years, and another one looks like they're going to be dominant in the next bunch of years.
So I really don't want to have to pick this one because, I don't know. It's very easy to say
I wouldn't be shocked
that the New Day wins. But I think this is going to be a precursor of the entire night. And I think we're going to see a passing of the torch of sorts. I do believe the Street Profits will win.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, we're going with the momentum maybe here. And yeah, I mean, obviously no titles on the line in any of these matches. It's just basically for bragging rights and just for points for their respective shows. So Jeff is going with SmackDown here, and he's going with the Street Profits. All right. Let's go to Brandi. Brandi, Street Profits or the New Day?
My heart wants the New Day, but my head says the Street Profits. So I'm going to go with the Street Profits.
All right. Well, 2 for the Street Profits. So I'm going to throw a little bit of a monkey wrench into this one myself. I'm going to say, because we've seen them together so much, we've seen Big E with the Street Profits on SmackDown talking about a lot about talking a lot about his time with the New Day and how the New Day is going to win. What if, and we've been asking for this forever, what if this is the time that Big E comes down and he could always say it was something, look, he was not happy when those 2 guys got drafted. Now, it wasn't their fault they got drafted, but he stayed behind and he did not look happy at all. What if this is the time he comes down to the ring? The New Day kind of thinks he's on their side, of course, but what if he costs them the match in this match and he kind of turns against his old buddies and says, you abandoned me, you left me here, you didn't even seem upset about it, something along those lines. And what if this leads to a Big E heel turn? So I'm saying Big E is bringing some shenanigans. Big E's going to bring some shenanigans to this, and I think he costs his old team. So I'm saying Street Profits as well, but I'm saying Big E gets involved. So Jodie, what do you think?
I'm going to put Jeff and yours together. I agree that I think Big E will cause New Day to lose, and we'll finally get that Big E heel turn, and the Street Profits will win. But I like Jeff's idea because if you watch SmackDown earlier, the commentators kept saying the words passing the torch a lot. Like, obviously a lot. So I agree with Jeff. I think passing of the torch is going to be the theme of the night.
Yeah, man, I think that would be awesome. Look at the comments. That would be a swerve, says Elijah. Big Dan says, I think Big E turns on the New Day. It's a bigger shock than Rollins turning on the Shield.
Mm-hmm.
Rusty saying shenanigans. Yeah. I love that word, shenanigans. And New Day is Eric Buchanan's pick. What if Big E screws over New Day, says James? Yes, that's exactly the way I was going. I just think the fact that he was involved with this the whole time, beforehand, you saw them coming in. They were kind of saying, it looked like Big E was, of course, still picking up for his boys and talking trash to the Street Profits in favor of the New Day. But it would kind of come off as a big swerve if all of a sudden he kind of turns on his boys. And again, it doesn't have to be their fault, but, he could kind of come up with that angle saying, hey, you left me here. You didn't come to my defense. You didn't fight for me. You didn't try to bring me over there. You just left me hang out on my own. So it could be something like that. And I think that would be awesome. Modus says, I think James has a point. This would be a perfect angle for a swerve. And Big E joins the Street Profits to make sort of a Hurt Business group on SmackDown. That would be cool. That would be cool. Yeah. I mean, Big E's really not kind of doing much right now. Not really in a feud or anything. So obviously, if he did do a heel turn, wouldn't be, couldn't really face his old team. He couldn't face the New Day because they're on Raw. But yeah, I think that would be really cool if we got something like that. Jen says, hello, Joe, Jeff, Jodie, and Brandi. Can I get a shout out to you, Jen? How are you doing tonight? Big fan of The Undertaker. Was a little kid since you were a little kid growing up. Yeah. Yep. I'm sure we're going to get a lot of that this coming weekend, of course. John Cena Gamers in the chat talking about The Fiend and The Undertaker. Yeah, we're going to get there. We will get there. Elijah says Street Profits looking angry tonight. And when Kofi hit forward by accident, got mad. Yeah. So little fuel to the fire. Absolutely.
I think there's going to be a lot of torches being passed.
Yes. Yeah. I mean, that could very well be. So, all right, let's go to some of the big matches. So let's go to the women's Survivor Series match. So let's go to the women's 5-on-5 matchup. We have Nia Jax, Shayna Baszler, Lacey Evans, Peyton Royce, and Lana. I've gone through a table 8 times, Lana, from Raw. And, of course, Bianca Belair, Ruby Riott, Liv Morgan, Bayley, and Natalia. So Bayley and Natalia were the last 2 introduced. That must have been on SmackDown tonight. I actually missed SmackDown. I was doing some other stuff. So there you go. So Bayley is involved. People were wondering what Bayley was going to be doing next. So there you go. Obviously, in these matches, when you've got these 5-on-5s, you kind of figure things are going to get volatile because a lot of people do not like each other on either one of these teams. So you kind of wonder if they're going to get through it. So, all right, who is going to be the sole survivor? Somebody came up with a really cool idea early this morning. I was listening to Busted Open, as I do a lot, and somebody came out and said, wouldn't it be cool if they made this mean something? And like the person who was the sole survivor in these matches, the men's and women's, got a chance to be a pick from 15 to 30 for the Rumble. Like that they could get a higher pick coming into the Royal Rumble, so it would actually mean something instead of just being meaningless. I'm like, oh, okay, that's all right. I'd be down for that. So all right, so let's start with Jodie. Jodie, who is the final survivor in the women's Survivor Series match?
You know, if you look at these 2 together, and don't get me wrong, I'm a huge Lacey Evans fan. I think she's fantastic, but I think SmackDown has the edge talent-wise. I mean, if you look at that group of 5 women on the SmackDown team, you're like, holy cow. But having said that, I think, unfortunately, Lana is going to be the sole survivor.
Yeah, a lot of people looking that way because of the, because she took her lumps going through all of those tables over the past few months. So, yeah, very well be. Big Boy Dally says, I think Team Raw will win. He's keeping score. The Raw 3, SmackDown 0 he has so far. In regards to the women, Ryan Satin of Fox Sports has theorized Lana will be the sole survivor due to her table spot. Yeah. Gus says hello to you, dude. Mona says women's Team Raw picks up the win here. Elijah says SmackDown wins, but Bianca becomes the sole survivor. But at the end, Bayley attacks her, and we get a feud between the 2. That could be. That could be. Janelle Jackson says they're going to have Lana be the sole survivor because she's a documentary coming out about it tomorrow, so she can have her big moment. Okay. Lana will be the sole survivor. So a lot of you guys thinking the same way. Modus says swerve alert. Lana is the remaining survivor of her team, and then goes through a table after the match.
That's exactly what I think is going to happen.
Could very well be. James Chadwick says Raw win. Maybe Peyton gets attacked backstage and Alexa replaces her. Oh,
I wish, but I don't see that.
That would be interesting. Wouldn't this be a fun match if it turns out to be a 4-on-5 after Nia puts Lana through a table? Very challenging to listen to you all and see at the same time. But I'm trying, says Jesse. Well, hello, Jesse. I think if Lana is the sole survivor, she will be put through a table. Yep, I want Nia Jax putting Lana into an announce table for the 10th time.
Yep.
Poor Lana. I'm going to say, you know what? Lana is the sexy pick here, no question. I'm going to go a little off kilter, though, and I'm going to say Bianca Belair. A lot of people are saying
that's what I want to happen.
Yeah, and I think a lot of people do as well. I mean, her promos that have been leading up to this kind of give me that little bit of an idea. I think Lana is going to get some attention and things like that, but I think, and maybe it'll come down to Lana and Bianca, but I think it's just kind of maybe Bianca's time, and I think this is kind of the start of a push for her. So I'm going to go off the cuff here, and I'm going to say Bianca Belair. Jeff, who do you think is going to win this? Team Raw, Team SmackDown, and who's going to be the last survivor?
Good question. Talent-wise, SmackDown has way more talent.
Yeah.
Yep.
So that's too obvious. these things are never that obvious.
Yep.
So I think Team Raw wins it. I do think that here's what I think will happen. I think we will get a moment in the match where, and I think this happens early on, where Lana gets put through a table and she's forgotten about. And whoever's on Team SmackDown, they'll get attacked or something will happen, and Lana will be able to just kind of sneak her way back into the ring, kind of like she did not long ago to get onto the team. And I think that's how she takes it.
Okay. Yeah, fair enough. I mean, Lana is definitely a pick that a lot of people are going with. All right, Brandi, what are you thinking?
I would rather see the gobbledygooker win than Lana. But I'm going with Bianca Belair. If we're going with the theme of passing the torch, I think she'd be a smart choice.
30 years for that too.
Yeah. I just think it's her time. Like I said, I think that it's we saw the promos, we saw the stuff leading up to it, we saw it really seems as if she waited kind of long enough. She was up in the main roster for a while, and it just looks like she has waited long enough for her opportunity, and I think that it's going to be Bianca's time as well. So, all right, so there you go. Let's see what you guys are saying. Nia, Eva Goldberg. Oh God, Goldberg. Here we go. Of course, Eric with Goldberg. He's not. It's a women's match. We're not even talking about men. What are you bringing up Goldberg? Is there a female Goldberg that I don't know about? What are you even doing? Yeah. So, all right. Let's get to since we're
Chris just said, "What if R-Truth dresses up like gobbledygooker?"
Oh my God! Could you imagine that? That would be awesome. Have his head sticking out of the costume, like have his head and then have the gobbledygooker's body. That would be amazing.
That'd be great.
That would be amazing. That could happen during a Thanksgiving show. Like that. That could be like you're going to have a show next Friday. Truth is on Raw though, so it would have to be on Monday. But yeah, something could happen like that. I mean, this is a cool week of wrestling too, following this, because whenever you watch the shows, this is always the time when you see the food fights, because they'll have the big catering tables of food in the back for Thanksgiving. And this is always when you see somebody ends up going through a table back there. Somebody ends up getting food thrown all over them. So this is usually a really fun time of the year. So this week should be fun. All right, let's go to the men's match. So we have the men's Survivor Series match, the 5-on-5, Keith Lee, AJ Styles, Sheamus, Braun Strowman, and Riddle. Oh, I hate that. Riddle me this. Whenever I hear that now, it's like I just think of riddle me this. And yeah, why just leave his name alone? Versus Kevin Owens, who is, by the way, going over to War Games on NXT after this. So Kevin Owens is going to be a busy boy. Jey Uso, King Corbin, Seth Rollins, and Otis has been added to the match. All right, so let's start off with Brandi. Brandi, who do you like here, and who do you like to be the survivor of the match?
Again, with the passing of the torch theme, Keith Lee is my pick.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, that was a question that's going around on a lot of the dirt sheets today, is like, what is going to happen with Keith Lee? So where is Keith Lee going to go after this? He's had feuds with Braun. He's had other things going on. So where does Keith Lee go? So Brandi's saying Keith Lee is the winner here, and Raw wins. I mean, it would make some sense because Raw seems like they're a complete mess. But I mean, they are at least. I mean, they're infighting constantly, but they are at least getting together in a way as a team. So it would kind of make sense that Raw does win, because you've seen them doing nothing but fighting each other the entire time. So you kind of think Raw would win. So okay, Jeff, what do you think, man? Who wins, and who is the last survivor?
I've got Team Raw in this because, yeah, I mean, whenever you set it up like this, I mean, it's supposed to be a swerve, even though it's not. Keith Lee, just because he's Keith Lee, and I really want to see them do more with him, And I think this is the perfect opportunity to start getting him some spotlight for the Rumble. And that's what I think.
I agree, Jeff.
It does seem like this is a little bit mismatched because, I mean, you've got tremendous size on the Raw team. You've got Keith Lee. You've got Braun Strowman. You've got, I mean, Sheamus. You've got some size over there. And, I mean, on the other side of it, you really just don't. I mean, you've got Otis. But other than that, you know, I mean, you got some good athletes over there like Seth Rollins and Jey Uso. But, you know, these guys have the size. There's no doubt. Yeah, you know what? This is a hard one to call because, I mean, you do have Jey Uso on the other side who's red hot right now. You have Seth Rollins over there, but I'm kind of thinking we might get my favorite word, some shenanigans with Seth Rollins, and maybe Murphy comes out and interferes. I don't know. Maybe something happens with Seth, maybe with the Mysterios. We're not sure. He's kind of always a target out there. You've got Otis in there as well, but yeah, I have to go with Team Raw here, and I think I'm going to make it unanimous. I mean, I just kind of think it's time for Keith Lee to win. You know, AJ Styles has been in the limelight a lot. Sheamus, I'm not really sure where they're going with him. He was doing those little vignettes with Drew, so I was kind of thinking, is he going to kind of turn on Drew at some point? Strowman, I just don't know. I just don't know what they're doing with Braun Strowman, and of course the Riddler. But yeah, I'm going to go with you guys. I think it's Keith Lee, and I'm picking Team Raw. Go ahead, Jodie.
I agree. My heart wants me to say Keith Lee, and I want to make it totally unanimous. But again, with the passing of the torch theme, I think it's going to be Riddle.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, I'll vote for Matt Riddle, but we all voted for Team Raw. So there you go. Team Raw comes together, says Butterspark. Raw can win by Chad Gable. Wins the match. Chad Gable mentioned. People focusing too much on the passing of the torch things, says Eric. Well, hey, that's you know.
Yeah, did they actually say that it was going to be one person left?
Well, they're going with the sole survivor, the kind of a thing. It doesn't have to be. It doesn't have to be.
You could see Riddle and Keith Lee surviving.
You could. Yeah, you could. I mean, I think they all have to get pinned out, though, don't they, Jeff? Is that how it works? I think they all have to get pinned out. And is it just one that's left?
Any fall pins him.
No, it can. I mean, you can have, as long as the other team gets pinned.
Okay.
You can still have multiple people.
So you can have multiple winners. So it doesn't have to be that way. Okay. Yeah. Well, good enough.
I think that's one of those things that's going to be up in the air.
Yeah, could be.
It'll be decided on Sunday at lunchtime.
Exactly.
Rick hasn't made up his mind how that's going to go yet.
An hour before the show, yes. If someone attacks Sheamus and Randy, tell Adam I want to be on the Raw team, possibly, says Elijah. Okay. I am not timed. Oh, people are getting timed out because of Goldberg stuff. Imtiaz is here. Hello to you. All right. So we're going with Team Raw. So basically, yeah. I mean, Keith Lee if he is the last one there, we're going Team Raw if it ends up that way anyway. So there you go. All right. Now that we've gotten out of the crazy stuff, let's get back to just your matches. So let's go with the women's title versus title. So champion versus champion, Raw versus SmackDown, Asuka versus Sasha Banks. This should be an amazing match. These two have wrestled before, but it was always with Bayley in Sasha's corner. So Bayley interfered in many of these instances. So this time there will be no Bayley. I mean, obviously, unless she comes out and does something to Sasha and we continue with that. But this will be one-on-one, Asuka versus Sasha. This should be an absolutely amazing match. So let's start off with Jeff. What do you think is going to happen here, man? Asuka versus Sasha Banks.
As much as I love Asuka, I just don't think they stop Sasha's momentum right now.
Yeah.
That it was a huge deal for Sasha to beat Bayley on SmackDown and retain the belt. And I think, I mean, obviously the belt isn't on the line, but I think just to continue that momentum, I think Sasha will win this one.
Yeah, I you know what, I I think I'm going to agree with you. I think I'm going to say, and I do. I love Asuka as well. But I think just strictly for the fact that you just want to keep her going. I mean, she's got all the momentum in the world. She was just on The Mandalorian with a pretty big part in a really, really good episode of that. So she's kind of taking off now, and I would have to agree. I think Sasha's going to win this. I don't think there'll be any interference from anyone. I mean, maybe we see, maybe Carmella shows up and maybe tries to do something interference-wise. She has been coming out and attacking Sasha, so maybe she shows up, tries to do something. Maybe it looks as if Asuka's going to get the better of her because she maybe attacked Sasha. But I do think that Sasha Banks is going to get the win here as well, and for the same reasons Jeff said. What do you think, Jodie?
I'm playing Switzerland on this match. as long as nobody interferes, I really don't care who wins because they're both absolutely fantastic.
Yeah, good point. Absolutely good point. Modus, it seems like Asuka has been getting jobbed out lately, so I'll take her for the win because the loss won't hurt Sasha worse than Asuka at this point. Get your broomstick ready, Joe. Asuka versus Sasha will contain shenanigans courtesy of Carmella.
I hope not. I said that earlier. I was like, please, dear God, for the love of all that is holy, do not let anybody interfere in this match. Please just let them kick the crap out of each other.
I mentioned that, dude. I mentioned that she might come down, but I don't think it's going to – I think, like I said, she may interfere, but I don't think it's going to cost anyone the match. I think Sasha will shake it off, whatever she happens to do, but I don't think it'll cost anyone the match. So, all right, Brandi, what's your call on this one?
I believe that Sasha has not beaten Asuka up to this point.
Yes,
I could be wrong, correct. But I believe I don't know if the pinfall rule applies to this match, but I'd like to see Sasha win over Asuka with a submission.
Okay. All right. Yeah. I mean, they both use submission holds, so wouldn't be surprising if one of them did win with a submission. So, all right. Well, there you go. We have one Switzerland, and we have Sasha Banks. So there you go. What do you guys think here?
Here's an interesting question: has Asuka ever tapped? Ever?
I do not know. That's a good question. I'm not sure.
Think she has.
I'm not sure. Rusty says shenanigans. Love shenanigans. All right. So there you go. My friend Shane has joined the chat. Hello, Shane. Shane says, yo. What's up, dude? Blood Sword Streaming. Shane, as I mentioned before, has had an interview with myself and Jeff, one of my good friends. I've known him for a long time. Check out his streaming community. He does an awesome job with his wrestling game stream. So check that out. If you ever get time and you like wrestling games, go check it out.
I stand corrected. Only one person has made Asuka tap.
Is it Becky?
It's Charlotte Flair.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, there you go. She has tapped once to Charlotte Flair. So there you go. Elijah said Charlotte did that. Yeah, there you go. Big Boy said she tapped to Charlotte Flair at Mania. All right. Yep. Well, there you have it. All right. So let's go to, I'm sure, what probably will be the main event. Well, it may not be. I mean, we may get the women's match as the main event. You never know. So let's go to Drew McIntyre against Roman Reigns. Champion versus champion. Two of the hottest guys in wrestling right now. Their storylines that they are involved in are big storylines. And so, of course, Drew just winning the title back. Roman has been involved in that storyline with the family and Jey Uso and, of course, Jimmy Uso when he was there. All right, so they had a contract signing, I had heard. I did not see it, but I heard nothing happened. What is with that? Nothing happened at a contract signing? I don't believe it. So, all right, who do we think wins here? We have Drew just coming off a title win. We have Roman, who looks kind of unstoppable. I mean, does Jey Uso get involved here to kind of help Roman win? Brandi, who wins this match?
Roman. And I have a question with this as well. Do we see somebody else added to the family?
Okay. So you mean like maybe somebody else comes out and maybe helps Roman win?
Yep.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, obviously Jimmy would be a candidate, or there could be others. So yeah, that's a good call. That's a good call. Shane says no contest draw. Oh, okay. That's we don't see that very often in WWE. That's
Boo.
for sure. That's for sure. Jeff, man, what do you think here? Who wins this match?
You know, it's funny because I was actually going to hint at that may be the finish. Is that we get no finish. Um, honestly, I can't see Roman losing
Yeah.
right now, even though I really want Drew to win and keep his momentum. But yeah, I think Roman is going to win. And you know, we didn't get a table turned over tonight. We didn't get anything like that. But the back and forth, the conversation between the two tonight was absolutely fantastic. And Roman just keeps elevating his game when it comes to his promo work. And I love the fact that they didn't do it like a traditional promo where one guy was holding the mic and then the other guy has the mic. They were just they were sitting at the table. Roman was at the head of the table and they were talking just like we're talking. And Roman is dropping in all these things like you're my favorite number two and all this stuff. I mean, I think it's going to be a hard hitting match. I think we're going to see a lot of big moves, but I think in the end, if we do get a finish, I think Roman comes out on top.
Okay. All right. Elijah's saying that if Miz comes and passes in, I don't know how they would work that because titles aren't on the line. But then I don't know. I mean, that's another thing you kind of have to look at the ruling on it. Like, does a title have to be on the line in order for a guy to come out and cash in? So I don't know. I don't know how they would approach that if you wanted to have Miz come in and do something there because the title's actually not on the line. But then does it have to be? I don't know. I honestly don't know the answer to that.
I wouldn't think so.
Yeah, I wouldn't think so either.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm not sure. That's a good point. Moda says no finish would be best because it would protect both champions. But I think WWE is trying to push Roman and the Tribal Chief gimmick to the moon, so it's hard for me to see him losing. Yeah. I mean, yeah, great point. The contract signing was very, very good. Good promos by both Roman and Drew, says Sean Rousset. Roman wins, but music comes, and it's Brock Lesnar. But if whatever happens, Brock joins Roman as a stable. Jodie would be not happy.
I'm with Jodie.
Jodie wouldn't be happy.
Well, I heard a rumor.
All right.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Jodie.
I heard a rumor that Brock was going to come back and interfere in this match, and it was going to end in a no contest because he beats the crap out of both of them.
Okay.
And if
well,
that
he does
happens, I said to my husband, I will vomit all over our couch.
He does have beef with both of them. So, yeah, I mean, he definitely would be upset with Roman because of the fact that Roman was he was a fierce competitor of his. And of course, Heyman, you could look at as Heyman turned on him. He does have beef with Drew because, of course, Drew beat him for the belt. Shane says, ugh, no more Brock. So Shane agrees with you, Jodie. So there you go. Yeah, well, I mean, if Mr. Lesnar does show up, this would certainly be the place and time for him to, with both of these guys having history with him. Let's see. So, I mean, we seem to be. Everybody seems to think that we're going to get a little something weird going on here, where it's going to be like maybe a no fan.
Here's what I'll say:
it's a dusty finish.
If there is a winner, it will be Roman.
Yeah, that's kind of what Jeff said too. Yeah, I would think so. I would kind of think so because I think they're making Roman look really like he's unbeatable at this point. So I kind of would think that what they're building up to, and whether it's going to be build up to him and The Rock, which is what it seems like, they kind of don't want to take that shine off of him. So yeah, I kind of would probably say that if they're going to have someone win, that it probably would be Roman. So I guess I'm going to agree with you guys there. Mm-hmm. Drew's already just recently lost the title, got it back again. So I kind of don't think it's going to hurt him as much. He's going to go on to something else. Oh, here's my little snippet here. What if one Tyson Fury shows up?
I would love that.
And costs Mr. McIntyre the match.
I would just die. I would absolutely love it.
Tyson Fury was showing off his little tribute to The Undertaker on his Twitter page the other day.
I would mark out.
Mentioning the hey, if they're gonna have a match,
Mania,
the perfect time. Well, no, I think the perfect time for them to have a match would be at the Rumble. They could just move right on to Royal Rumble and have against Drew at the Royal Rumble. So if there's shenanigans, I kind of think, and I think even more so, I like the thing with Lesnar, but I think even more so than Lesnar, I think it could be Tyson Fury that shows up and costs Drew this match, and that's how Roman ends up winning the match. So that's what I'm going to call there.
I would die. I would mark out so bad if Tyson Fury shows up. Oh my gosh.
That's my call. Look.
That would be the moment, one of the top 2 moments of the night for me.
We've been seeing this build up, guys. It's been on Twitter. Tyson Fury has been challenging him and talking about him for the last several months. And we kind of said, well, where is this leading to? We all know that WWE loves to bring the champion of the, champions of boxing, whatever they bring in to fight some of their wrestlers. So this would certainly be a good time to do that. You can have all this time to talk about it. Hell, they could fight at TLC. They could have the match at TLC.
It's too big for that.
So I would think so too. I think they'd move it to the Rumble, but they could have a nice build-up, have it going back and forth, and stuff like that. But yeah, that's my call, man. I think that Tyson Fury may show up and may cause Drew to lose this match. So
I would love it, love it.
All right, so all of us kind of feel that, if it's a clean win, if somebody comes out of it with a win, it's going to be Roman Reigns. But otherwise, if there's shenanigans, yes, more shenanigans, Tazzy. Everybody needs shenanigans. If there's more shenanigans, Vince loves. I love shenanigans. Vince loves shenanigans. So, hey, we all love shenanigans. So, yes, shenanigans for everyone. All right. Let's talk about the Undertaker thing, shall we?
You're missing what's happening.
Did I miss a match
on the pre-show?
What did I miss?
There's a battle royal.
Brand versus Brand battle royal.
Oh,
on the kickoff show.
Okay, I did not know that. All right, well that's cool. Have we heard who's in it?
Not a clue.
I'm looking for it now. Oh, there it is. The match was announced. No participants have been announced.
Yeah. Everybody else.
So I'm going with
somebody's gonna win.
Let's just go with somebody from Raw or SmackDown.
SmackDown.
I'm gonna say SmackDown.
Let's hope. Let's go with R-Truth. Let's say R-Truth.
There you go.
Let's go with R-Truth. I love R-Truth.
I would love it.
So let's go with R-Truth.
In gobbledygooker.
Yes, R-Truth in the gobbledygooker costume. There you go. That's who we're going with in the kickoff battle royal. Moda says the internet has spoken. The Money in the Bank holder can cash in at any time and place of their choosing. All right. Well, no, there you go. Undertaker's interview on the Hot Ones was great, says Shane. I haven't heard it. So, he's been all over the place this week. He's been on so many things. I'm sure there have been a lot of really cool interviews with him. So many people have had him on shows and things like that. And like I said, he was actually eating hot wings on a show. And, he has been all over the place. Sean Rousset says Aleister Black. Maybe. Maybe Aleister Black will be in it. Who knows? That could very well be. All right. So let's get to the celebration, shall we? This is what it's all about. It is the 30th anniversary of the appearance of the dead man, of the Undertaker. It is supposed to be a farewell to him. We're going to see a lot of his friends, a lot of his the people who he's fought through the years, people who he's known through the years. My goodness, we may see Shawn Michaels. We might see Triple H. We might see Kurt Angle has been confirmed. So this
Brother Love.
Oh, how cool would that be? How cool would that be? I love you. How cool
was
would
his
that be?
first manager before Paul Bearer.
He was. That would be. I mean, we did see him dress up recently as Brother Love when they had the what was that? That was the
Money
big
in the Bank.
Money in the Bank. Yeah. So as recently as then, we did see Brother Love. Gus says Jimmy Fallon was talking about the Undertaker. Yeah, it's all over the place. Yeah, this could be a little bit, this might be a little bit of a tough moment. Savio Vega, Kurt Angle. Yeah, I mean, this is going to be really cool to see. Oh, and yes, I said this on the podcast last night. Will we see one last tombstone from The Undertaker? Now, Mr. Sami Zayn came out and started dissing Mr. Undertaker this evening when he came out and they were doing the little tribute and the New Day was kind of tributizing him in the ring. And Sammy came out saying, oh, he's running away from me because he, blah, 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 blah. I'm like, oh, boy. So you kind of figure there's somebody going to come out and is going to do a stupid thing and interfere at some point, and I could totally see that being Sami Zayn. That may come out and may take that final tombstone from The Undertaker. Look, all I'm saying, and I don't know what's going to happen, but all I'm saying is that if it ends and he just kind of puts, and you see the urn, and you see the hat, and you see nothing but smoke, I'm going to get a little verklempt. That's all I'm going to tell you. That's all I'm going to say. I'm going to get a little teary-eyed because, yeah, that's just going to be all right. So let's talk about the other thing. Let's talk about the
elephant in the room.
Let's talk about the Fiend in the room.
Yeah.
Fiend in the room, shall we? Look, Jodie and Jeff have been talking about this on Abby. So, and a lot of you are thinking this way too. I mean, we saw the tweet from Bray when they said that the Undertaker, yes, he took on everybody, and then Bray comes out and says, "Well, not everybody." So yes, I mean, could everything be? Look, if this is going to happen, this is how I see it going down. Everything's going to take place. You'll see all the people come down. All of the pleasantries will be had. Everybody will give out their hugs and things like that. You'll see maybe you'll see the whole thing with Sami Zayn happen. And then just as it's pretty much over, and maybe he's taken off his hat, maybe he is, kind of just acknowledging the crowd, but what they're going to do, and this, maybe the logo, that's a thing to look for now. Look for the logo coming up on the bottom or the top of the screen, because whenever they've done that lately, it's been a dead giveaway that something's going to happen. So look for the logo that when you think the show's over, and then boom, that's when the red lights are going to hit. The lights are going to go down. You're going to hear the noise. The Fiend's going to be in the ring. And what he's going to do, he's just going to give him the claw. Because obviously the Undertaker, not in a condition where he's going to take bumps. It's not going to be his sister Abigail. He's not going to do anything really physical to him. If he is going to attack him, it's going to be the mandible claw. And then the Undertaker is going to be left in the ring. The Fiend maybe, and I said this would be cool if both of them disappear. If the Fiend disappears and then Undertaker is also gone, because the mystery then is there. Where did he go? What happened to him? What is going on? And then you get the hype, you get the talk. When does it happen? Does this take place? Obviously, it would be a cinematic match at some point. Is it going to be at the Rumble? Will it be at WrestleMania? You don't know. So that's how I'm saying it would go down if this happened. Let's discuss. So obviously, we'll let Jodie got Abby's window. We'll have Jodie go last. So, Brandi, do you think something like that happens? And we were talking about this before we went on. Or Do you think it's kind of, and they said this on Busted Open today, someone called in with the same question, and they kind of thought, the LaGreca's like, I don't know. And Mark Henry, neither one of them seemed really cool about it. They were like, yeah, I don't think so. And I think maybe the reason that they're saying that is because it would ruin a moment. So I don't know, Brandi, what do you think? Do you think that this could happen, or do you think that no, it's just got to go down where it's a tribute? You can't really have anything like that happen.
I really don't want somebody like, Sami Zayn to come out and try to act like they're going to challenge the Undertaker. I also hope that there's some kind of Paul Bearer tribute along with this in the video package or what have you. If the Fiend comes out, I want to see a stare down.
Okay.
I don't know that the Claw necessarily needs to come out. I think you could kind of pass the torch without anything happening.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, yeah, that's a good point. I mean, the attack might make him look bad at the end of the whole thing. So yeah, no, good point. Very good point. What are you guys saying here? And then I'll get to Jeff and Jodie. We need to see Stone Cold. That would be interesting. Yeah, we don't see Stone Cold very much. Stone Cold come down, have a brewski with the Undertaker in the ring. Did anyone see the bump with the wedding where the bride walked down to Taker's theme? The Fiend is almost guaranteed to attack the Undertaker. A lot of comments saying that Taker will pass the torch to Bray, but the thing is, the Fiend will take the damn torch from Taker, says Sincere Meteor. Big Dan says, what if the Rock shows up to celebrate Taker and ends up having a stare down with Roman after the match with Drew? I don't think the Rock would show up. Rock's had COVID, and I think if anything, he would do a video package and kind of send something there, but you never know. You never know. Big Boy saying, I'm going to cry. If I cried for Ric Flair, I'm going to cry over The Undertaker. Gus is saying Sami Zayn. I would love Sammy versus Taker. What about an appearance from Ted DiBiase? Says James Chadwick.
Yes.
That'd be cool. Yeah, I mean, geez, he brought him in, didn't he? That would be awesome. Eric Buchanan says, I say we get no Fiend. Moda says, girl scream, please, please, please let the gobbledygooker show, and WWE takes all my money. What, during the Taker thing? God. I mean, he was thinking he was going to be that character, wasn't he?
Yes.
Eric says Biker Taker. Shawn Michaels, Triple H, Dude Love, The Godfather. Oh yeah, what if Mick shows up? I didn't even think about
he has to.
Oh, yeah, that's right. What about him, Mick? Kurt Angle, Flair, and others will appear at Survivor Series for Undertaker's final farewell. I really want to see Brock Lesnar come out and show respect to Taker, says Big Boy Dally. Taker interferes in the IC match. Surely Foley will be there. Yes. Sammy match. Taker interferes. I think it's, let's see. If others show up, things will just go haywire. Retribution surrounding the ring.
Oh, please.
Oh, jeez. Threatening attack on Undertaker. Then the lights go on the Fiend and Taker clean house. Well, I mean, Bray's kind of looking like a face. He's kind of looking like a face lately. So that, hope we'll see Vince. You think Vince will show? That would be cool. I'd be in for that. Could you imagine Vince come parading down to the ring? That'd be awesome. Let's see here. I hope we can see his old school entrance one last time, says Rusty. You mean with the acolytes and stuff like that? Yeah, dude, that would be cool. Rusty, that might happen, says Slenny. I really want it to happen. Hello, Jay McCabe. I don't want another match from The Undertaker. The last one can't be topped. Yeah, that's what he said. That's absolutely what he said. So it could very well be that he won't. I mean, if he does wrestle Bray, it's definitely going to be a cinematic match. So, all right, Jeff, what do you think, man? Because Jeff, I got to give Jeff credit, man. Jeff called him retiring after the Boneyard match way back when. So, Jeff, what do you think is going to happen here, dude?
I mean, I don't think we'll get an attack. I know a lot of people want to see an attack to maybe even set up something with these two in the future, but I don't think we get that. I think it's more of a respect thing. I think that's what we'll get. I think it's very possible that The Undertaker leaves something behind for the Fiend to then pick up and carry on the legacy, so to speak. I don't know what that is. It'd be really cool if it was the urn or something, but I think that's what happens. I don't think we see an attack because I think with how they built this thing up as the final farewell, I don't think we get all of that. If there was a possibility of more, I think Undertaker's actually done this time. But I do think that we get a show of respect in between the two men, not just a one-sided show of respect, but obviously the Undertaker's comments coming out recently about the Fiend character weren't on accident. That was planted there for a reason. So I think that's what we get.
Yeah, that's a good point. I mean, he has been saying things about Bray. I think one of his comments were, if I had a little more gas in the tank, I would have loved to have a match with The Fiend. I just think the two characters would have played off well with each other. So he did come out with some comments about him recently. So, yeah, it's a great call. That's a great call. And if this is, like Jeff said, if this is indeed all about respect, and this is his show, this is his debut, this is his 30 years in the business coming to a culmination here, which I'm sure, the ending will be at the Hall of Fame, because he will be immediately inducted into the Hall of Fame. And I wouldn't doubt, well, they might wait for fans back. They probably will wait for fans being there for that. But so we'll see what happens with that next year. But if this is indeed the respect for him, the culmination of that, yeah, what you and Brandi both said makes a heck of a lot of sense. So, all right, Jodie, go ahead. You're up.
I'm going to say the same thing that I said on Abby's on Monday. Well, similar. There are going to be so many eyes on this show because of The Undertaker that an attack would tick a lot of people off. And so I think the goal with this tribute, people are going to be looking for not the next Undertaker, but for him to pass the torch to somebody else. If you are not following the Undertaker anymore because he's done, and I agree with Jeff, I think he is done, they're going to be looking for that next person, next person that they can really get behind like they did the Undertaker. There's going to be so many people watching this that don't watch wrestling regularly, and they're going to be looking for that next Undertaker-like character. The best way to do that is to pass the torch to Bray without an attack. I think it takes away from that moment if he was to give him a mandible claw. So here's how, fantasy booking, I would love to see it happen. You've got the Taker out in the ring. The big tribute is over. The lights go down. The Fiend pops up in the red lights. You get that stare down. And at some point, Taker just looks at him and tips his hat. And then disappears. The only thing left in the middle of the ring is the urn. Bray picks it up, disappears. Somewhere down the road, we end up seeing the urn in the funhouse.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I mean, would be very respectful. Would be a way for him to do that without having the match. So yeah, good call. Great call. Rusty says, what if he passes on all of his Undertaker darkness to the Fiend and then walks out as Mark Calloway? That'd be interesting, wouldn't it? That would be interesting. So no, that's a great call. Yeah, that's a great shout. I mean, it would be a very respectful way to do it. So,
And that's what the show is all about, paying respect to The Undertaker. And I think an attack on The Undertaker by The Fiend would just derail all of that.
Yeah, no, that's true. Moda agrees. WWE had the perfect opportunity to fall in their life of passing the torch from Taker, old school, to the Fiend, new school. If they don't do it here, I'm afraid it won't happen at all. Yep. Maybe the last time. I mean, look, this could very well be the last time. I know, everybody talks about that line where he said if Vince breaks the glass and calls him, he'd show up. But look, I mean, the more he stays gone, then people are saying he might be working with behind the scenes a little bit. He might show up to NXT and do some classes. Like, he was training some of the guys, talking to some of the wrestlers there. So maybe he shows up for some things like that. But this could very well be the last time you see him in a ring. Could very well be. So yeah, good point, man. Good point. No attack, only a passing of the torch, says Butterspark. Yep. So he agrees. Jesse says, oh, yeah, I like that. Oh, no, she's talking about the overtake. Oh, God. Undertaker, good Lord. Yeah. So look, it's gonna be a very bittersweet evening. It seems like we're having this a lot lately with things, but it's gonna be a very, very bittersweet evening, and it's going to be really something to watch for those of you again who have grown up with this guy. You guys are a little bit younger, who kind of saw him, a little bit later in his career and things like that. I remember it from day one,
So do I.
Yeah, I mean, for us, it's going to be. It's going to be very bittersweet to see all of these guys coming back and almost doing like a "this is your life" kind of a thing, and seeing all these people. I mean, I'm sure Brandi, with you, Mick Foley shows up. Oh boy, oh boy,
I'll cry. I hope we see. Maybe even some of his tag team partners from WCW. I would love to see it even that far back.
Yeah. I know in our podcast the other night, some people were saying Sting. Could Sting come down and pay his respects? I mean, look, you can see anyone. I mean, those two never fought one another, and Undertaker was talking about him too, and he said, back in the day, it would have been the biggest fantasy match ever. Between him and Sting when they were both at the top of their games in WCW and in WWE. So, you could see it's good. Look, this is going to be really cool. We've got some great matches here that we covered here, but this is absolutely going to be the main event. This is absolutely going to be the main event of the show, and really what the show should be all about. I mean, this is where he started way back when, and this is his show. So it's again going to be very bittersweet, whichever way they decide to go with this, and I think it'll be very respectful. You're going to see a lot of people come out that you probably haven't seen in a while, so get ready, guys. Again, it's tough to see. Some of you younger guys might get to see what us older guys get to see all the time when you see your legends go. They come and they go, and you get to, and that's what happens when you're on the earth for a while and you see these people kind of leave in the business, and it's like, oh man, but enjoy it, because you don't get guys that come around like this very often. Undertaker is a once in a lifetime kind of a wrestler, so enjoy it. It should be a really, really fun pay-per-view with red versus blue all through the match. Some great matches, as we have talked about, and I think it's going to be a fun time. So there you go, guys. We've had you a little bit late here, over an hour. I know it's getting late on the East Coast. I know you people that have joined us from overseas. It is very, very late. But like I said, thank you so much for joining us. For the whole team here, for Brandi, Jodie, Jeff, of course, and myself, appreciate you coming on and joining us tonight for our prediction show. I hope you guys get all of your predictions right that you have said who is going to win. But most of all, just enjoy the show and enjoy what we're going to see with the Undertaker afterwards. And of course, come back on Sunday. We will be here. So Jeff, Brandi, Jodie, and Tazzy, we'll start you guys off. Jeff, did you come up with a time for the start time yet?
Not yet. We'll announce something tomorrow.
Okay. All right. So we'll let you know what time we will be starting our watch along on Sunday. And I'll get that out to you guys on Twitter. I'll let you guys all know what time we'll be starting the watch along. And like I said, you can join those guys right off the bat. I will come and jump in as soon as I get home, which will probably be around 8:15-ish, until I get home from work and then get something to eat really quick before I come on. So I'll join you guys around 8:15. So I'll miss a little bit of the beginning. You'll have to fill me in when I get here. But yeah. So again, guys, thank you guys so much. James Chadwick says 4:12 a.m. Good God, dude. I don't know how you do it. I don't know how you do it. I appreciate it. Yeah, right. I appreciate it, but I don't know how you do it. But yeah, make sure you come and join us. Hopefully we will see you all again on Sunday. So thank you so much for being here tonight. As always, guys, stay safe. And hopefully we will see you all on Sunday. Have a great rest of your night, guys. We'll talk to you all soon.